Coming up on today's show, could the Seattle Seahawks be signing Damar Hamlin after the post-June 1 cuts that are about to occur? We'll tell you what one Seahawks insider had to say about that possibility. Also, we got a big injury update to get to on Jerome Baker, one of the newest members of the Seattle Seahawks. Looks like he won't be taking the field anytime soon. We got the latest that we'll tell you here in just a bit. I am Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us on the channel today. Here's what I want to do, folks. If you hate the San Francisco 49ers, I need you to prove it right now. Here's the challenge I got out there from Chase Sr. and the gang over the 49ers report. They said, you guys don't really hate us. You're jealous. You don't hold anything to us. And I said, you know what? We're going to show why we have the superior fan base, the more passionate fan base. I want to get 100 F SAN FRANs in the chat right now. Load up that comment section. Chant it with me. F SAN FRAN! F SAN FRAN! F SAN FRAN! Get those in the chat right now. I need at least 100 of them to send a message loud and clear. We'll get started with today's show. Could Damar Hamlin be headed to Seattle? No, not Denny Hamlin, the NASCAR driver. Damar Hamlin, who most folks know from the Monday Night Football game that occurred several years ago, where he collapsed on the field and made a just miraculous comeback last season. Did not play a whole lot. 12th Man Rising has named Hamlin as a post-June 1 target for the Seahawks in free agency. Listen to this from Leval. This offseason, Buffalo rebuilt their safety group and appears to be approaching a future without Hamlin. Hamlin is healthy now and is a good player. He is solid in coverage and has flashed the ability to be disruptive in blitzes. In 2022, he had 5 total pressures on just 25 pass rush attempts. He also has position flexibility, which Macdonald would know exactly how to use. Hamlin wouldn't be a starter, but would be veteran depth in case Julian Love or Rayshon Jenkins were injured. Now, I look back at last season. It was the first for Damar Hamlin since he collapsed on the football field, was medically cleared to return and everything. And yet, he only played a total of 31 snaps last season. And I think people remember specifically the just very bad play the Bills had, the fake punt that they used him in that was just a disaster. Look, Damar Hamlin couldn't get on the field in Buffalo. I was actually surprised they kept him on the roster throughout last season. To me, I'm not looking for a guy that I could likely be cutting in just a few weeks anyway. The Seattle Seahawks probably should go look at the safety position and see what options they can get out there. But they can certainly do a lot better than Damar Hamlin. A guy that can't get on the football field, there are better options out there than Damar Hamlin as far as I'm concerned. 2021 6th-round pick out of Pittsburgh. Won the NFL's PA Allen Page Community Award as well as the George Halas Award winner last season for his efforts off the football field. Did not win the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year award. That ended up going to Joe Flacco. And the experience he has in the 3 seasons he's been in the National Football League, he's played a total of 34 games with 13 starts. Now, the tail of the tape with Damar Hamlin. The numbers from 2015, when he saw, or 2022 rather, when he saw the majority of playing time that season, he totaled 91 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 2 pass breakups, and 1.5 sacks. In the 31 snaps that he played this last season, in 5 games, he had a grand total of 2 tackles. That was it. Folks, as the kids say, he's mid. No thanks. I don't need another mid guy around. All right? I mean, Seattle, I look at this group and, you know, with the positions that they need and looking at other safety options out there, there are a number of guys that I can pay the same amount of money I'd pay Damar Hamlin, the vet minimum, whatever it may be, and do a lot better off than a guy that can barely even get in the football field in 31 snaps. He's mid. No thanks. You look at the numbers from the last time that we saw him actively on the football field, 2022, the Pro Football Focus grades included a defensive grade of 61.4, a run defense grade of 53.2, tackling grade of 45.6, pass rush grade of 74.6, coverage grade is 62.8. So as a safety, he's not great in coverage. He's not a great tackler. And he's not that great in run defense either. Red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm out. No thanks. I'm not wasting a breath on Damar Hamlin. Should the Seahawks sign Damar Hamlin? It's our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. S for sign, P for pass. Would you like to see Damar Hamlin in Seattle or not? Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you are talking fantasy points, maybe it's rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, home runs in baseball, all sorts of different categories to choose from, including the National Football League. We're looking ahead to the start of the NFL season. I got DK to have more than 1,025.5 receiving yards. I got Lamar Jackson to have more than 3,600.5 passing yards. If both those hit, we put $20 down. That's going to turn into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Download Prize Picks today. You'll be glad you did. All right, let's talk Jerome Baker now. Jerome Baker joined the Seattle Seahawks this offseason, signed with the team in free agency, and Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald gave an update on Baker's status of the injury concern while at OTAs this week. Here's what Macdonald had to say. He's working through some things right now. We probably won't see him until training camp. He's going to be fine, but right now we won't see him out in OTAs. I wouldn't call it a concern, but anytime someone isn't getting all the reps, you've got to figure out different ways to get them the reps. So it's mental stuff, it's walkthroughs. We're trying to be creative in the building to make sure he gets all the things he needs to see. He'll be up to speed. He'll be ready to go. So let's go by the numbers on this. Jerome Baker last season missed 5 of the final 6 games of the Miami Dolphins. That includes the playoffs due to injury. And then he ended up, that was a knee injury, by the way. He ended up having season-ending wrist surgery after that. So it was one thing after another. And the ultimate reason why he got released for the Miami Dolphins, this is where we get the red flag here, folks, is he failed a physical by the Miami Dolphins, received a failed physical designation. So that isn't great, right? With Baker being the new guy, right, with not knowing much about him, right, of being new to the building and how the Seahawks operate and just, his history and such, I'm a little nervous, not knowing the significance of this injury. I'm very concerned. Mike Macdonald might not be concerned, but I'm very concerned because of the failed physical, not being on the field right now, being told, we're hoping to have him back till when training camp rolls around. Well, what if you have a setback? What if that turns into the preseason or turns in the regular season? The longer this drags on, the more I'm going to be concerned. What is your concern level for Jerome Baker's injury right now? Scale it for me in the comment section, 1 through 10. How concerned are you? I'm going to go with about a 7.5 here for my concern level. Let me know your concern level in the comment section below. For the best Seahawks coverage you won't find anywhere else, you got to subscribe to Seahawks Today. We bring you daily news and rumors, live shows not just once, but twice a week now, as we're doing our Madden Sims for the entire Seahawks season over the next several weeks here on the channel. On top of all that, folks, we are bringing you breaking news. Anytime the Seahawks make a signing or trade, we're going to react to it in real time here on the channel. Help us reach our next milestone, 52.5 thousand subscribers here on Seahawks Today. Just over 140 away from reaching that next mark. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe for free. Join the family now. You'd be glad you did. More on Jerome Baker, a former third-round pick out of the Ohio State. Baker signed a 1-year, $7 million deal with the Seahawks this offseason. So if he can't stay healthy, they're not locked into a long-term deal anyway with Jerome Baker. A lot of experience over the years, 94 career games played with 82 starts. The numbers last year, not anything spectacular. 7 to 8 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1.5 sack. But you go all the way back to 2020 when he was really good. 112 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. The thing that we've seen the Seahawks emphasize is the coverage linebackers. That's one thing they really want to get the most out of with Baker and Dodson and others. And while Dodson did give up an 88.2 completion percentage and a quarterback rating of 92.3, that was still better than what Jordan Brooks and Bobby Wagner did in coverage. The biggest problem with Baker's injury right now, more than anything, is the lack of depth at the inside linebacker position for the Seahawks. If Jerome Baker is not available when the season begins, at this moment, Seahawks don't have a ton of other options to turn to. Yes, you do have Dodson there. He's going to be your green dot. But, Tyrese Knight is still very young. He's a rookie. Drake Thomas, John Radigan, Patrick O'Connell, Devin Richardson, Easton Gibbs. None of those guys I can necessarily count on. So the Seahawks need Jerome Baker to get healthy pretty quickly here so they can call upon him because there's just not a ton of other options for them to work with there. So with that said, do the Seahawks need to go add another linebacker with where the injury's at and just the lack of depth, if you will, at this position? What do you guys think? The Seahawks need to go make a trade or go sign a free agent linebacker? Let us know. Y for yes, N for no. Should the Seahawks add another linebacker or not? Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. The news continues, never stops, over on X. You can follow me there, at Tyler Jones Live, for continuing Seahawks coverage. I will see you next time, right here on Seahawks Today.